The glaring night. I will try and make a long story as short as possible. Me and my wife both had a problem with playing entirely too much online video games. She works 12 hours a week and manages to play her games 60 to 70 hours a week. I work 40 hours a week and played at least 5 hours a day. We both ignored our problems and just buried ourselves in our addiction. About 2 months ago I tried to talk to her. Took days to catch her where she wasn't able to ignore me, and I mean flat out just ignore more. Put her headphones on for her game and turn away while I was talking. I told her I was not happy and wanted to try and fix our relationship, to which she replied that her mother was coming to town any day for 3 weeks and she didn't want any drama while her mom was here. She accepted going to counseling if I would wait until her mother left town. A few days before her mom left town, I found moving boxes in her car on the way to our kids' 9-year-old stepdaughter and 4-year-old son joined birthday party. She had an apartment all set up. I had just had my shift changed to go in at 6 p.m. and not 3 p.m. She had the truck set for 3 p.m. so I assumed she was going to move out while I was at work without telling me. Her reasons for leaving are she wants to be single again, I won't take her to dinner or on vacation, we can't afford it with her excessive fast food spending. I am not good in bed, our 4-year-old sleeps in our room, and in our bed until very recently, and she doesn't have feelings for me anymore. Now I have tried through 2 counseling sessions, and all she does is say she's done. We're 1 month past when she moved out and she is off her game and doing great. Credits the fact we are apart for her happiness, when in actuality she got off the damn video game like I did. I am at the point I can see that not only do I stand no chance of getting her back, but I am clearly better off moving on. The problem is my family was all I had. I have no friends, no hobbies now that I quit playing the games I was truly addicted to. I am going to be stuck in a child support payment, so I will be stuck in construction, which causes me physical pain these days after injuries. I had been trying to find a new career, but with her gone and the support at about $900 a month, I am stuck in my job. My question is, how do I move on past this without any friends, any hobbies, and having to see her all the time because I am getting joint custody? I still love her even after all this, sadly. I do not move on well. My job has very unstable hours and I can't plan anything during the week due to hours varying. I could start at noon or 6 p.m. and work between 8 to 16 hours a day. I also have my son on weekends, and honestly, I have a hard time with that because all I see is my failed marriage and letting him down when I look at him. Then waiting on her to get a job, something she didn't try very hard to do. She still delivers pizza only 12 hours a week and has an associate degree. Anyway, basically I am a laborer and make $25 an hour, so the pay cut changing careers to something I have no skill in would be huge. I am considering going to school with all my new free time, now that I do not play any video games all day. I really can't wait to be moved out of my house. She left me in a house I can't afford because she took over half the money, with a car I can't register. Registration is due in a few days, because it won't pass smog, and left me a pile of her stuff as big as a car to look at. That stuff is gone this weekend one way or the other. One problem I am having is I work alone. I drive a truck and put out signs, cones on the road. So, I end up thinking all night about this and taking my mind off my job. I've almost gotten run over a few times this month by not paying close enough attention. Dangerous job walking around on the road in traffic and on the freeway. I even keep getting in trouble at work. My supervisor has been very good about it, but that's got to be coming to an end soon. I can't seem to focus, and worse, I leave work miserable and only have an empty house to go home to. My contact with other people outside of on the phone is only 30-second hellos with gas station clerks or a 5 minutes chat with my boss about the day's work. The rest of the time I am alone. It has always been this way doing this work. Before her I had a major gambling problem from going to the bars at night since I had nothing else to do, so going out anywhere is not a good idea. I have gone to 3 sessions with a marriage counselor, 2 of which she showed up for. I get 2 more counseling sessions through my insurance, but have been so busy that I just haven't bothered going again. I think in a week things will die down a bit. Although I will need a new therapist, as it would be like a 20-some mile drive to the one I am going to once I move, and I'm not sure I should continue and go alone to a marriage counselor. Or should I, since she already has had the opportunity to see me and her? I could make the drive maybe and time it for when I am on that side of town on Thursdays picking my son up from school. So, keep the marriage counselor, therapist, she will see me alone. Or find a new one. As far as my childhood, yeah, it was rough. I have serious issues there. I have suffered from depression, thoughts since I was 10 years old. No, I have never gone to therapy on this issue. I just considered it done and in the past, but it does affect many aspects of my life, such as my ability to deal with times like these. I was also a serious alcoholic before I got with my wife. Now I drink like 5 beers a month and plan on keeping it in control. Just got off the phone with my boss. They are changing my shift again. Such a pain. And I am in trouble again for something at work. I really got to figure out how to not dwell on this while at work. It's just so hard when you work alone not to just think about it the whole time. Well, she came and got 2 carload of her stuff out of the house. I had to pile it all up by the door and am sick of walking around it. It's almost halfway gone now and it only took her a month. Had a great day today even with having to see her. What I just don't understand is why on earth she thinks she should try and just talk to me like I'm her friend. I took our son back to her apartment after she took her last load of stuff and she wanted to talk, was telling stories and trying to keep me from leaving. I gave it a minute, then told her I have to go, said bye to my son and left. Felt good to just walk out of there with her still talking. And I was busy today at work and didn't get all bogged down thinking about any of it. Was a great day. I need more of these. An update: I have finished moving into the very large master bedroom I am renting. Been here 2 weeks now. The old house has been handed over to the landlord in the best shape I could get it in. I am so glad to not have so many different things going on. I was packing her stuff to get the old place emptied, packing my stuff, moving, cleaning out the room I am renting of the old items here, divorce papers, and work. Feels great to have less undone things hanging over my head. I actually slept for more than 4 hours the other night. Woke up exhausted because I slept longer and my body wanted to stay asleep. I am having a serious problem that is a repeating cycle. I start my work week Sunday night 6 p.m. and give my son back to her Sunday night before work. She will be picking him up starting this Sunday. I have been transporting both ways since I was in the area before work each week. But anyway, I give him back Sunday night and I see her, then go to work where I am alone in a truck all night. I can't help but let my mind wander to places it shouldn't go. I usually get in trouble at work Sunday nights now, then get sent home early because I screwed something up. Then I can't sleep. Monday is almost as bad. Tuesday is a little better. I only get 2 to 4 hours of sleep each night Sunday to Tuesday nights. Then what I have been doing okay. Thursday morning, I get my son back and all is well, until Sunday when it starts all over again. Would it help if I don't see her on Sunday when we exchange the child? I might be able to have someone else be at my house and have her pick him up 20 minutes after I leave for work. I am not sure if that's a good idea or not. I am not sure if I want to not see her. I think I should not see her. My brain says I don't want to see her, but given the option, I don't know if I could choose to not see her. Ugh, I hope you understand what I am trying to explain because I sure don't. I will start posting more regularly now that I am not so busy. I was running nonstop at least 18 to 20 hours a day for a month and a half now getting everything done. One day I will sleep a whole 8 hours again. I do try and turn the radio on. For one reason or another, usually the phone, it gets turned down and I forget to turn it back up. I spend about half my time out of the truck, and out of the truck hundreds of times in a shift. I think I might lose my job over this if I don't get it straight soon. My supervisor is still being really cool about it, and I don't think any of the things I screw up are even in his daily emails up the ladder. Although he had a talk about it with me the other night and said I got to get it figured out. I get sent home early about once a week for something, and usually a second time a week because he knows I won't complain about the lack of hours as I have stuff to do anyway with the divorce. I am trying the 180 as best I can. I seem to break down on that every Monday morning. Sadly, this last Monday resulted in a long email to her while unable to sleep. I was so tired that I had to read it the next day to remember what it said. She never responds to them, thankfully. I have tried meds. It wasn't helping before, but I have a whole bottle, so I will give it another shot this Sunday night. Maybe I can arrange for the people I live with to watch my son for 20 to 30 minutes Sunday nights after I leave for work and have her pick him up then. I will try that if I can this week. She had some money set aside before she left. She used to keep her Christmas and birthday money and say she was saving it for a vacation, and also hit a royal flush on our anniversary last year when we went out. I think she had about $2,000. On top of that, she took half the tax return $12,000, and whatever she made in tips she had socked away from a few months' work. She works 2.5 days now delivering pizzas. She will be out of money soon. Another month or month and a half. At the time she left, she says there were 2 guys she was interested in. One I know is online in her video game and a lot younger than her, and I can only assume the other is at the pizza place and a lot younger. She admitted to having been talking to both of them, which to me is a betrayal. One I would be able to forgive, but that's a separated issue. Looking back, I shouldn't be surprised by any of this. She has left every relationship in her past in the same fashion except maybe 1 or 2, and was even cheating a few of them. She was a bit of a revolving door for guys prior to me, so the whole "I just want to be single again" excuse for leaving hurts, but yet again shouldn't be a surprise. She was a stay-at-home mother for 5 years, then delivered pizza 2 to 3 days a week for the last 8 months. Wasn't a good stay-at-home mom. All she did was play online video games, but was too lazy to find a job, so she just complained about being home. Looking back, I realized she was just comfortable where she was and too lazy to do anything to improve it since it was comfortable. I can also now see that even when something was important to me and I discussed that, it never became an important issue for her. On a side note, I think I did really good last night. I went to work and she met me there to take my son, and she showed up in a new shirt that she knew I would hate. Very low cut with bits of see-through areas on it. I waked the kid to her, told her he was only hungry as I woke him up from a nap to leave for work, said bye to my son, then turned and walked through the gate to work. While she sent me a text later asking me when was the last time he got a bath. I replied, "Shower this morning," and left it at that. Unlike her, I bathe him daily. She's more the 2 or 3 days then bath time. Later I talked to him on the phone and she was interfering with the phone call. He would ask about seeing Dad and was asking me to go to my house, and she's in the background telling him no, he stays with her, and to say goodnight, encouraging him off the phone. Normally he talks very short, but this time he was chatting me up, for a 4-year-old anyhow. I also normally have no issues with her during the calls to my son. Not sure what to make of that. She also doesn't look very good, looks like she has lost a lot of weight, and not in a good way. Stress must be eating her alive. So, between my first post and now, I have managed to get our house we rented cleared out and returned to the landlord and have moved into the new place. We are progressing on the divorce slowly. I originally filed a separation just to ensure she could not return to Mom's house, out of state, and she countered with a divorce, but refused to sit down and have the divorce written up together so we could avoid court. I have filed for a court date to challenge the child support figures that are based on her lack of meaningful employment. We have had one major shift, about 3 weeks ago. We had agreed to not tell my stepdaughter 9, who thought I was her real dad, that I am not her biological father until after school got out. She jumped the gun and told her dad is not your real dad. He doesn't love you or want to see you again. She told me that my SD9 asked about her real father, to which she was told he doesn't love you or want to see you either. I feel terrible for this kid. I don't have any real love for her as mine, but still I have always tried. She has oppositional defiant disorder and purposefully instigates things, which makes it very hard and has pushed me away over the years. Now the W blames me for what happened to my SD and claims that even if she wanted to get back together that she could not because I hurt my SD. She is like this with the entire relationship, blames me for the problems. I don't deny my mistakes, I know I made them and am owning up to them. But she can't admit to hardly any of hers, calls the marriage counseling sessions we went to a bashing her session when I freely start off with my own shortcomings, then when asked to go into hers. No wonder I only get her to 2 sessions, the second of which she used to discuss divorce and not our relationship. Not sure if this is something I mentioned previously in the thread, but I honestly think she is running from her problems. She has always been the type to run to the bathroom and cry and not deal with the issue. She left her home state and refuses to talk to anyone there these days. One day while I was at work years ago, she changed her email and phone number without telling me and claims she just decided she didn't want to talk to anyone from home. Never told me what happened to prompt the action. A few weeks before she moved out suddenly, and it was a very last-minute planned move. I asked her about going to counseling as I was not happy with our relationship. I think she ran versus deal with her problems, our problems. I am at the point now where I am not even mad over the things, I really just feel bad for her, which is difficult because I love being a rescuer, so staying back is rough, but I am finding I can let her sleep in the bed she made. Also, I haven't been there in weeks, well inside. But at her apartment where her guard is down if I talk about us. I can see her get visibly upset. The last time I was there it ended in her standing there hugging me and being upset, but the very next day it was back to I'm done. How many times do I have to say it? You had your chance, I am done. Everyone says you had 5 years, I don't get it at all. It doesn't feel like she's thinking for herself. She stated her rings came off because everyone said she should take them off. I am curious if everyone is her online friends, pizza place coworkers, all in early to mid-20s, and both of those sets include a possible other man she is interested in. She just found out this weekend that my stepdaughter has a half-brother 26 days older than her. Meaning her first husband was sleeping with someone else. So, she was filling me in on that and complaining that he was a trash for sleeping with someone right after they broke up. They then got together again and he never said anything. None of my business, and I do know why she was telling me any of it. She has been all business, no chit-chat since she left unless I initiate the conversation. I have been reminding myself every time I see her that I must follow the 180 if there is going to be a chance. I already pushed her far enough away in marriage and immediately after. I am amazed at the changes in her behavior with just a few weeks of the 180. I only see her once a week, so it's not like she sees or talks to me much, but she has noticed. She is far more observant than I am. If she were to want to I am completely in agreement with you that the gaming has to go, at least the online gaming where she gets sucked into it with her friends. Wouldn't bother me if she wanted to play a little Zelda or something. We all like a little distraction. The hard part will be staying firm on this. I'm not going to lie, I'm a pushover for her and it's something I am going to have to work on. At night, every night she will call me and it's my son on the phone, about 8 to 10 somewhere in there. I talk and then say goodnight to him. Now when I am done talking to him and we say goodnight, I hang up. But if I wait and don't hang up, which I haven't done in weeks, she just hangs up on me. It's an iPhone, so she has to hit the end button and can see I am still there. Tonight, as soon as S4 says goodnight, she takes the phone from him to talk to me before I can hang up. W, S4 is feeling better now. Me, okay good. W, I am going to let him go back to school tomorrow. Me, I am busy, I have to go. Bye. W, bye. Me hung up. I wasn't expecting this. She never wants to talk to me at his bedtime. When she got on the phone unexpectedly, I panicked. I may have the wording on all slightly wrong as I wasn't in observation mode, was just talking to S4 while working and trying to pay attention to my job. I panicked when she got on the phone and just wanted off as I wasn't ready for the conversation at all. Minor conversation that isn't worth anything, but it's all I got for today. She did it again. As I was saying goodnight to him, she says, "Wait, don't hang up on me," as he takes the phone from him while he is saying goodnight. I think I miss the texts-only communication. I'm not sure I want to talk to her on the phone. On one hand, I am dying to hear her, but on the other hand, it just makes me sad and I can do nothing but think of her after we get off the phone. She basically just let me know he still has a fever and now has a slight cough. He got sent home from school today for having a 99-degree temp. She asked me to get cough medicine, so I have some for him. All I said was it was silly for the school to send him home for that small a fever and thanked her for telling me. Then I said bye and got off the phone. Would asking her to keep all conversations between us to email or texts only be harmful to any possible change of heart on her end? I'm not sure what I would want at this point, but don't want to damage that option should she come around. One of my biggest problems is these calls as they are while in at work, and that just messes my night up. Really nothing new today from the WS4 is still sick. She was kind enough to text me about it this morning, choosing to do so while I am trying to sleep. Downside to working nights, doubt she forgot my sleeping schedule that fast. It's just another reason I need to get around to asking no telling her to email only unless it's urgent. I have to have my text sound very loud, as I sometimes get texts to be into work early and they have to wake me up. I didn't even bother with a response to it. Not sure if that's just flat out rude. Maybe I should have acknowledged her text about him being sick. Oh well, done is done. I rolled over and tried to get back to sleep instead. Have two good friends coming over for steak Saturday night, so I have my weekly something to look forward to. I wish I had been smart enough to get that planned before tonight, so I could have actually been looking forward to it all week. Damn. And being lazy this week, I am falling off the productive wagon and back to my usual self. Going to have to work on that SAP. I have been doing so good the last month and a half at not being lazy and getting stuff done. Seems the nights I manage to get close to a full night's sleep, I am groggy and can't seem to get anything done. Well, one step closer to the therapist appointment, she emailed me asking what various times, days are good. I also wrote my an email today listing the various community property items she took and what she left, and showing the large difference in the two. I only want one thing back I don't care about even, I just want this done and over with. Also asked her, again, to please keep communication to emails only unless it's urgent, then text. I'm a little pissed she woke me up the other morning with that text, but then again it should be of no surprise. She never cared about my sleeping work schedule when we were together. I took the court-ordered co-parenting seminar today, one less thing to have to get done. 3 hours of talking about co-parenting and its challenges is enough to send someone back into depression, and wishing she would change her mind. Was a rough afternoon. My friends, both female, came over for the BBQ tonight, and when I called my to let S4 say goodnight, they both came in and were talking in the background. Wonder if she will make things difficult over that or not. She stayed on the phone and would not hang up even after he was done on the phone, I'm assuming listening to what was going on. Now that part that has me suspicious. I have a really good longtime friend online from my online game I was playing way too much. He is friends with her too, but they hadn't been talking hardly at all in months. 20 minutes after that phone call with the W and the girls in the background, he sends me a message asking, "So how you been entertaining yourself these days?" I haven't talked to him in 2 weeks. I sure hope he's not relaying information, because he knows a few things about the D I don't want her to know. Forgot to post this yesterday. Last night when I went to work, she met me there to pick up S4. Not a single word was said. Last week she was talking my ear off. This week, nothing. I'm not sure which way I like it better. On one hand, it's by far much easier emotionally if we just hand over S4. On the other hand, I was looking forward to her possibly being more open and friendly. I find myself logically knowing that if she can't work on her problems, we could never stay married and have it work. But emotionally, what can I say? I love her. After last week, I went into last night looking forward to possibly seeing some more open, friendly wife I used to see. Maybe even catch a smile out of the corner of my eye again. Kind of depressing not to get anything. I don't know, maybe it was just that damn co-parenting class. That crap was depressing for me. Screwed me up all weekend. On a positive note, I got 8 hours of sleep today. Feel terrible from it because I have been getting used to 4 to 5 hours, and now I am all groggy and can't seem to wake up. Here's the situation. The W works pizza delivery 20 hours a week, only during the time I have S4. She has another child she has full custody of. I plan on asking the court to impute income to her because she has an associate degree and is perfectly capable of a 9 to 5 40-hour-a-week job. She is asking $525 a month in child support. On one hand, I want to avoid the court fight. It can take months to impute income. They will give her 90 days to find a better job, then look at her effort and impute income. This fight could cost me a few thousand. I also am turning down overtime. I work a lot during summer and hardly any during winter. So, the longer this goes on, the less money I have to get me through slow season. A second job is hard with my frequently changing hours during winter. I also may have a temporary summer job, 80+ hours a week, lined up to help me play catch up. But I can't take this if support isn't figured because it would make the payments too high for me to make them during winter. I'd starve. On the other hand, I can't stand the thought of supporting her laziness a minute longer. I've done that for years. And I have him 4 hours short of 50% of the week. I am doing my part. Add in the fact she took everything just about. I am keeping my pension, but other than that I'm basically starting life all over again like when I moved out of my parents' house. When we got together, she had next to nothing. I had the furnished house. So basically, I feel robbed in a sense and can't stand giving her more money than I am forced to. I can't stand the thought of willingly doing so at least. So, there's arguments for both sides. I have till the 19th to figure out my game plan and would really value your opinions, as you all have been here and done it, so you truly understand where I am coming from. I am leaning towards offering her something in the $375 to $450 range instead of rolling the dice in court and prolonging the ordeal, just so I can have the option to work more open to me. Am I being too stubborn on the support amounts? I mean, I have dealt with her spending tons of money on things like fast food as a stay-at-home mom too lazy to cook for years, and it pisses me off. I am doing a budget for the first time in 6 years because she would look at it when we were married. She just spent whatever. Now I just want control of my money and my future. I want freedom of my own future free of her. Most days, some days I want her. Wish she would just let me take him full-time and she could be gone and not my problem. Child support is the only reason we are not divorced yet. I was always too nice and let everything go. She walked all over me, not really didn't meaning to. She wasn't bad in a lot of areas until it just degenerated to that point over time. It's partially my fault. Although the items I did stand firm on, she didn't really care what I thought. Eventually I gave up trying, not knowing what else to do. Never really had a good relationship modeled for me growing up, so I was kind of just winging it my whole life. Parents' marriage is a joke, abusive father. All our family friends' marriages are non-existent or the same. No wonder I had no idea how to make one work. Sadly, she is in the same boat. Her mom left her first husband and 2 kids for a truck driver, my wife's father. She actually grew up her first few years in a semi-truck. Then later in life had him the alcoholic father who she thinks was molesting her when he was around. And her mom doesn't even believe her and just wants to talk about herself, which is a lot like my wife. Both poorly taught. I am surprised it lasted 5 years. I've always been the nice guy. I don't think I can change that about myself. I'm non-confrontational in almost all aspects of my life. Had enough yelling in childhood to dislike any arguments now. Makes me uncomfortable. The few times we argued about something, except for maybe 2 or 3 times, I didn't yell or get angry. Of those times I got angry, I think there were 2 in the beginning when I was drunk. I don't drink more than a few drinks anymore for that reason. The only recent time was taxes. She screwed up and neglected to put down $3,000 in taxable income and didn't want to bother to fix it. Even after explaining the tax problems that can happen, she just didn't care. So, I got mad and was yelling at her to get off her game and go fix it. She was trying to put her headset on to ignore me and play that damn game, something she did a lot. Just pop on the headset and ignore Ryo when he's talking, instead of dealing with the problem she created. Sorry, getting off topic, but that was the first time in probably 5 years I had yelled. I felt terrible for yelling at her, and our taxes didn't even get fixed. None of the things I had issue with ever got taken care of, regardless of how much sense I made in the discussion. She never cared. She just gave in to shut me up on some of them, and then only when I was looking. I really didn't want to just set myself up to be rejected again. I don't know why I don't think of things in therapy like this, but I feel that in order for me to trust she is genuine and wanting to work on things, if it came to that, I would need to see her able to make the effort. I have tried to resolve our issues and get her to go to counseling with me. She hasn't put in any effort. I definitely think now that I have had a few hours to think about it. I really think I need to see her effort to know she's really in it. She made no effort to keep the marriage, she just left. If she will make no effort to repair it without me holding her hand and dragging her to therapy, why should I ever think she would make an effort in marriage again? You're right, I need to just work on me and see what happens. I'd love if she worked on her and then we worked on us. That would be amazing, however unlikely. Not sure if I mentioned this, but the other week, she overdrafted the joint account with the subscription for that online game she's obviously still playing. Now I know why she always says she is too busy to get back to me on divorce items, slipping right back into her gaming to avoid real life. My therapist asked me 2 questions that I think I should have been able to answer quickly and easily last week. She asked me what I loved about my wife when we got together, what it was that made me marry her. She also asked me if I were to list her qualities, what would they be? The first question I can honestly say I do not know. My memory may be tainted by a couple years of unhappy marriage to her, or maybe it is what my wife says, 2 lonely people who found each other. I have a job where I work crappy hours and I work alone most of the time. My only human interaction was yelling at people on the road who almost ran me over at work and drinking at the bar at 6 a.m. after a 12-hour work shift. Maybe I was just lonely and latched onto the first woman I had any type of relationship with in years. The second question, well, it just makes me feel like I should have opened my eyes. My wife lacks most qualities you look for in a person. She is smart, very smart. She is attractive, a little out of shape, but she still drove me nuts. Amazing cook. Sadly, that about sums it up. She is too lazy to put the cooking or intelligence to any use. She is content being smarter and better in her video game, destroying 15-year-old all day. Maybe I only loved not being alone. I was miserably lonely before her, as I am again. Also, I think I loved having someone who cared about me. She did at one point, there's no doubt about that. But outside of those things, and of course my son, she never actually made me happy. Silly how I still miss her even as I write this, but the more I think on it, the more I come to realize it's not her I miss. I just miss the spot being filled in my life, even if it wasn't filled while it was filled. My comment, the affair comes into play in part 2. Will the wife wake up from affair, or she will choose affair over her family? Comment down and see you in a few hours.